Okay, and we're live. I think we're live. This is our second try. We're trying again. First time, everything crashed. And, oops. But here we go. Second two. Right, let's start again. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Spiritual Tarot Card Readings with Peter. I'm Peter, I'm your host, and I'm taking you on this journey through the tarot cards, and we're learning them together. Today, we're learning all about the Major Arcana card, the Fool. Let's check that out. Here he is, the Fool. What's the basic meaning of this card? Well, the basic meaning of this card when it comes up is a fresh start, a new beginning. It's the if you want, the Fool is the free spirit. He's got no baggage, he's got no responsibilities, doesn't have a mortgage, no kids, nothing like that. And here he is, he's out travelling out into the world. Here's the Fool. So let's talk about the Fool, and there's lots of different types of tarot card decks, and with the Fool card in it, we're going to start off with this guy here, the Fool. This is from the Rider-Waite deck, and we're going to look at some other decks as well, see what the similarities are and the differences. So first of all, let's talk about the Fool here. I'm going to read you a little excerpt from the Tarot Bible by Sarah Bartlett. This is what she says about the Fool. The Fool, Acrum 0. Zodiac affinity, Uranus. So keywords for the Fool would be impulse, infatuation, blind to the truth, childlike, pure, and uncorrupt. As we can see, our figure here does look quite childlike, but he's out running around, got his little dog with him, he's having a great time. Interpretations we can use for the Fool would be the Fool usually implies new beginnings and childlike enthusiasm for life. This card represents part of yourself which comes to life when you need adventure, fall in love, or are looking for quick answers. The inner child or crazy fool who acts without thinking, unafraid of the unknown and ready to leap in at the deep end. Well, if we look at our picture, we can see it's a young character here. There's a young guy. He's got his little dog with him. He's all ready to go out looking for adventure. He's going out to find out. He's got his world on his back, and off you go. So looking good so far. So let's carry on with what Sarah's saying. In a relationship issue, watch out for falling in love or not looking where a relationship is heading. This card can also imply that you have an immature attitude towards relationships or your professional abilities. Perhaps you are avoiding responsibility. So it's all about new starts, new beginnings, being a bit childlike or naive, if you want. So we can see the Fool here skipping merrily along. Let's see, I've got some other information on the Fool, and this is from the Rider-Waite book explaining about the Rider-Waite deck. So in the cards of the Fool, the Rider-Waite deck can observe a young man who is walking carelessly until he reaches the edge of a cliff. He's carrying a backpack of a bundle tied to the end of a stick, and in one of his hands he's holding a white rose. The young man is looking at the sky and paying attention to his steps, and it is clear that he is not aware of the precipice that is opening up before him. Here we can see he's just about to walk off the cliff. Next to him is a little white dog who tries to get his attention by barking. In the upper left-hand corner, that's the upper right-hand corner, in the upper right-hand corner, we can see a radiant sun. As with all tarot cards, none of these elements are devoid of meaning. The young man, male, perhaps reminiscent of Adam, the first man, who, like him, falls because of his recklessness. The phallic and virtual symbolism also appear in the pen of his head, representing the innocence and enthusiasm of a youth, the beginning of his journey of life. Unlike other cards, the young man is not distressed as a jester or a joker. With bells and bright colours, his figure, like all Rider-Waite, is more subtle and spiritual and less an object of ridicule. So here we can see that he's a very well dressed young man and he is travelling out. So it's all about that childlike ability, that going out, grasping life, if you want. Can also be a bit chaotic. So that's what the Arthur Waite deck is saying about it. So we can have a look at some other decks here. I've got lots of interesting decks. Let's see what deck we can look at now. The next deck we can look at is This one here is the Fool, and this is the Tarot de Marseille. Now, I've had a little look up. I've researched what they say. So I'm just going to read you quickly a little excerpt from the manual for the book. I don't know if you've ever tried to read a tarot card manual. These things are bonkers. It's like a manual for an old video recorder but doesn't have any buttons. So, but here we go. So I'm going to read you what it says about the Fool, and when you can start looking. That was a fly landed on the camera. Damn flies. Right. The Fool has a name, but he does not have a number. He is the sole Major Arcana card not to be defined numerologically. He represents the original boundless energy, total freedom, madness, disorder, chaos, and even fundamental creative urge. In traditional card games, he gave birth to figures like the Joker or the Wild Card, but can represent any of the other cards at any time without being identical to one of them. The key phrase of the Fool could be, "All paths are my path." So that's interesting. So what they're saying here is the Fool can represent the start of the journey, the start of the path, and any path you take could be the path of the Fool. This card gives the impression of energy. On it we see a figure striding resolutely, wearing red shoes. Here they are, some nice red shoes. Whilst digging a red staff into the ground with every step. Where is he going? Straight ahead? Is it possible? But it could also be imaginable that he's turning endlessly in circles around his staff. So it could be that he's just going around and around and around. The Fool depicts the eternal traveller wandering through the world with no ties or nationality. He could also be a pilgrim making his way to the sacred site, or in reductive sense, he may be, of many of the tarot analysis have given him, he could even be a madman, wandering aimlessly towards his destruction. If we choose the most elevated interpretation, we shall see that the Fool as an individual, attached from all needs and complexes and judgments, unbound by the taboos because he has abandoned all demand. He is an illuminatus, a god, a giant, drawing on immeasurable liberty, strength from every flow. So some of the key words that they use on this deck we've got here: freedom, energy, travel, seeking, origin, wandering, essence, liberating force, the irrational chaos, the flight of madness. So here they're saying this card is representing a lot. Is he going out? Is he just going in circles, or is he pushing forward as he's moving on? He's still we can see he's represented carrying all his belongings on his back. When we compare him next to the Rider-Waite deck, we can see that the Fool in here, this guy is joyously abounding out, and here he has his small white dog with him, whereas this guy has his dog as well, his companion, helping to move him onwards and inwards and helping him keep him going forward, that fresh new spirit. Alright, I've got some other cards we can check out. Here's another example of a Fool just from a different deck. We can see here very similar stuff, very colourful card. This one we've got the little cat who's his companion. The cat compared to the dog is slightly different, you know, the spiritual side from the feline. But here, generally, the symbolism in the card is exactly the same. It's the young man joyously going forward, about to step off the cliff. Now, not all tarot card decks are the same. There are some differences. So this is the ones pretty much based on the Rider-Waite deck, which is a global tarot card deck. And well advised, if you're starting reading the tarot cards, this is the deck to get. It's the easiest one to start to understand the symbolism, and once you understand this, you can then start moving on to different decks and seeing how they bring in new elements to it. But first of all, start with the Rider-Waite deck. Right, what we're going to look at next, guys, we are going to look at, let's get the tarot table up. Just quickly, as a little treat, here is the Fool card from the Gothic Tarot of Vampires. So here we can see the symbolism is very similar to as before. We've got the young spirit, the free spirit, about to step out. Remember, this is a vampire tarot deck, so it's all, he's about to go out to face the vampires, to face his fears and see what's happened. He's got his companion with him. They're holding hands nervously, but he looks ready, as if to go out and strike at the vampires. The meaning is that these guys say the Fool, innocence before things happen, potential for all things, realization of none. So here he's ready to step out into the world. Okay, so that's the Fool from the Gothic Tarot. Now we're gonna change it a little bit here. Now we're gonna go more down to traditional Golden Dawn tarot journey. So we're going to step away from the Rider-Waite for a little bit. We're going to start off here with one of the most famous ex-Golden Dawn persons, and we're starting off with the deck of Thoth, the fourth deck by Aleister Crowley. So if we check this out, here is the Fool from Aleister Crowley deck. This here is an incredible image. As we can see, all images in this deck are amazing. And this actual set of cards I've got here is like, I think they must be 60 years old, something like that. It's you know, it's a very old set of cards. Still, here we can see our Fool is joyously flying out from the card, if you want. We can see in one hand he's holding a diamond, in the other hand he's got hold of fire. So he's got hold of wealth and he's got hold of the power of fire. Lots of spirits are flying around. The white dove of pureness, of course, circling around him in an endless thing. But here there's an alligator or a crocodile sort of figure, which is there, ready to snap if he makes wrong move. He has his companion still, but this time it's a lion, the mighty lion here and powerful. And he still has his sack. But in this sack, I'm not sure if you can see it, but here in each of these discs is a constellation. A zodiac sign. So the Fool here is moving fresh out. He's got everything he needs to make a success, but still naive about what lies around him. That's the Aleister Crowley deck. I love this card. What a brilliant card this is. We can see here there's lots of energy, lots of movement, lots of power. It really draws your subconscious in. Once you've got the cards into your mind, into your deep subconscious mind, and they start bringing out new paths, new journeys for you to use in your readings, or when the card comes up in the readings, all these neurons fire and the subconscious goes off to wherever it gets its information and finds out, and the power of the cards is telling us here. So there's the Fool. That's the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. Pretty cool. I've got one more to look at, and we'll look at this one, and this is the Humatic Tarot by this one is by Gregory I can't remember his name. It was by Gregory, it's by Gregory Dawson, Dowson, D-O-W-S-O-N, Dowson, Gregory Dowson. So here I'll try and focus in on that a little bit more, see if we can see the details. So, this card here, this is an amazing deck. It's just, it is based pretty much, well, let me give you the info on it. Considered to be one of the most important esoteric tarot decks created in the 21st century, the Hermetic Tarot is now back in print as a response to committal style. Okay, yeah. Godfrey Dawson's subtle designs emphasize the Golden Dawn astrological attributes while also integrating angelic, numerological and Kabbalistic elements. The black and white artwork features intricate detailing that highlights the power symbolism in both minor and major arcana. And I tell you, this deck is awesome. So here we've got the Fool, the Spirit of Alpha, Ox, Pluto. The sun indicates a bright spring morning. The two-part triangle in the upper right of the card represents air. So we've got morning and air. The symbol of Pluto appears in the mist in the front of the man. The foolish man stands with his welding belongings on the edge of the precipice. ignorant of the lashing waves of the crocodile with open jaws standing at his feet, ready to take a bite. The foolish man holds in his right hand the rose of joy, signifying perfect innocence, and he holds a fierce wolf in check by a leash. Behind him sprouts the flower of silence. The high significance of this card suggests that the foolish man's perfect innocence is holding the wolf, thus angered of worldly wisdom is held check by perfect innocence. So the meanings we get for this card from these guys is idea, thought, sensitivity, the flesh, eternal life, spirituality, initiative, folly, and foolishness. So amazing! What a wicked card that is. So I like to look at all the different tarot cards and all the aspects of the tarot cards. It's only when you study these things really, really well that we get to, we start seeing how it all joins up and how it all starts to make meaning. So here, let's get our cards that we've got so far. The Fool, the Foolish Man, the Spirit of Alpha. There we are. So thank you for joining me here. Let's have a look at what's going on over here. Yeah, we're still live. Nothing. No one's got any questions. So I'm going to say thank you for joining me here. We're going to stop now. This has been day 2, I think. Yeah, day 2. And this is it. Card 0, Major Arcana. The Fool. Basically childish, free spirit. Peace and love, people. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you soon. I've been Peter here at Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter.